Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Nebula is surprisingly awake when he wants to be. It's kind of mind-blowing. I actually woke up. Well, then again, I did also turn on an alarm to make sure I woke up. So I don't like using alarms, but it definitely seemed to have helped. Also turning on background noise because I forgot. I need a little bit of something. Hello? What's muted? There we go. Okay. So, I know I said I was going to be using Capcut, but before I start putting things into a video, I do need to make some edits on the pictures, you know, instructions, guidelines, little chibi pictures of Nebula, things like that. So I got a bit of work on Krita first. Also, I hope everyone's having a good morning or a good time zone wherever you are. It's a little muggy out here. I think it might rain again, so it's kind of icky, but hopefully it's nicer for everyone else's. I've been meaning to make this video for a while, and I thought about doing it on my own and just making it, but I was like, no, I want to have a recorded version of this, and that way if anyone sees it, they can comment, give tips, advice, and help me figure out what I'm doing. So I wanted to make sure I did it live, and I'm nervous because, you know, I know there are people who do this like in no time at all, but I'm not there yet. Just like with drawing, I'm not there yet. I want to be, which means I need to start doing it more. But that also means I need to remember to take pictures of what I'm baking. But then again, most of what I'm baking starts off as just test runs, like the bagels I did. I was thinking about taking pictures of bagels and the whole process of, you know, start from start to finish, the recipe, the ingredients, the finished product, but I was like, not yet. I need to make it at least once to make sure I have a good understanding of the recipe, how it comes out, make sure I like how it comes out, because I don't want to post a recipe and I'm not too thrilled with the end result of it. Like the bagels last time, they came out good, like I'm really happy with them, but I'm gonna be making them again Saturday with a slightly modified recipe. To see how it comes out. A little less salt in the recipe, because I'm gonna have the toppings on the outside, so I don't want it to be too salty, and things like that. So yeah. And then the pizza recipe is one that I've made a lot of times, and I still mess with the recipe a little bit, but the way this version came out was really good, so I did want to make a video of it. Although I will say I made this batch of pizza a while back, and then I recently got a pizza stone, which is a complete game changer for baking. So I gotta redo this later on, the next time I make pizza, because I want to see how it comes out with on the pizza stone, because it's supposed to come out a lot better, because the pizza stone like draws out more moisture from the dough, gives it a nice crispier finish. So I definitely want to give it a shot. Although I don't really have a pizza peel, so getting the pizza onto the pizza stone. Well, no, I can. The way I've been making a lot of stuff is I put it on parchment paper, and then after the parchment, after it cooks most of the way, take it off the parchment paper and then finish it off on the stone, and it comes out just fine. So that's not too much of an issue. So should be okay. It was like on, ooh, what did I just push? On this one, it's like, okay, well, this is the ingredients panel, you know? So the first things I gotta do is, we do need to put, well, let's also get an image of Neb in here. So we can have him speaking. There we go. Your guide on this adventure of baking. You know, and it'll be like that. And then I found this font called Chiller, and I've been absolutely in love with it. I don't remember what font size I used. Let's see, how does that look? No, 20 is not the one. 48? 48? It's a little small. 72. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so ingredients. And then this is also, I believe, a half batch recipe. So all of my standard amounts was cut in half, so I need to, and I didn't write it down. Because I'm like, oh, it's just half. I know how to make that. No problem at all. So I gotta do mental math while we're live. And hope I remember it all. So we had 3 and 1/4 cups of flour. Is this on screen? No, it isn't. Let's put this. I don't think it's going to be shown on screen because it's a pop-up window. But I am typing when I'm speaking. So the salt, I believe I did a tablespoon of salt. I did, no, it was 3/4 tablespoon, 3/4 tablespoon of salt, because I had 3/4 tablespoon of yeast. Those are the main ingredients for the dry ingredients. And then I used a half teaspoon basil, half teaspoon of oregano, 1/4 teaspoon of rosemary, 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, and then we had, did I put salt in already? Yes. So flour, salt, yeast, aromatics, and then for the wet ingredients we had 1.5 cups of water, room temperature water, and then I had, I think it was just half a tablespoon of honey. The olive oil was used for something else, so that was not needed. It's like, okay, that is a very large list of ingredients. So I think we'll split that into two. Or better yet, we'll take the aromatics out for now, right? If I can get this window properly sized. So from here to here, we'll cut that. And then what we'll do is we'll paste it here. And then we'll cut that. That way we can go like that. Alright? Yes. We'll save that. Close that. We'll put this one over here. Right, let's adjust the spacing a little bit. Make it a little bit more no, don't want that. Yeah, that's fine. And you know what? Let's actually drop it to 48. No, it's a little too small. Let's try 60. That's a little better. Okay. So we got spacing at 80, -3, and the size at 60. So that's acceptable. We'll actually put that there. Let's shimmy you over a little bit. Not too much. Let's see. Let's mirror this. Vertical? Nope. That. I wonder if I can adjust the I guess not. I was hoping I could adjust the tail. I think you can before it like saves into itself. Oh, you can. Look at that. Okay, so in theory, no. No, I don't know how much of that. That's a little too beyond my ability at the moment. So we'll just shimmy you over. You know what? We'll put you there. Kind of like that. We've got the ingredients. And then we'll pick another one down. That will have the aromatics. Yeah, yeah. No, not 72. We're going to 60. Okay. Now that that's there, let's although having it here covers. Let me see, what if I go like that? Slightly cover. Nope, 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 nope. Maybe? Let's shimmy you over a bit more. And nope, not that one. Oh. I don't want to mess with that either. This is a very... Do you know what you're doing? No, not in particular. We've got the ingredients, we got the aromatics and the other things. That is not bad. Oh, we'll do a quick save on that. Capcut edits, ingredients, save this as a ARZ. And then we'll merge. Resave as a JPEG. And then voila. And that only took like what, 10 minutes to do the first freaking one? We're learning. We're learning. That's all it is. Alright, so we've got that one. Then of course, since we are using pizza. Wherein lies the problem? All of my images. Nope, that's not the one I wanted to open. I didn't even realize it. All of my images should have been landscape. This one popped up as portrait. Dun dun dun. It'll be fine. We'll see how it works out in once I load it up into Capcut. Because I tried to make sure all my photos were done in the same orientation. That way it doesn't look a little weird. But yes, a few of them managed to escape. Well, maybe not escape, but alright, so size 60 was a good size, methinks. Alright, so the toppings. We've got tomato and basil pasta sauce, or you can use, you know, your favorite. We've got shredded So the $1 million question is, can I spell mozzarella correctly? The answer is yes. And that's mozzarella. That works out fine. And that is the proper spacing that I wanted, so that's fine as well. We just gotta adjust this. Put it right around there. And we'll put this right around here. Now it's easy. Toppings: tomato and basil pasta sauce, or your favorite tomato sauce. You know, doesn't have to be this one. I once used a like a caramel onion one that was really good actually. I think, but I just used a tomato and basil one because it was just, I guess, the pretty standard flavor seasoning for it. So that's fine as well. Oh no. Save as. Once again, save it as a KRZ in case I decide I want to edit it later on. Oh no, wait, cancel. We've got to merge before we save as a JPEG, otherwise it's gonna be all wonky. Okay. And then here's all our dry ingredients. Oop. Oh no, he's in the bucket. I wonder. Make him really itty bitty. He's in the bucket. Yeah. Help me! Help me! And then here is where we go add all the ingredients into a container. All your dry ingredients first. Add all your dry ingredients into a container. There we go. I think this was down to 7. Yes. See, I like this. You can see, you know, the aromatics. The salt over here is kind of visible. And then you got your yeast. Everything is there. We go, okay, save this as a ARZ. And this isn't the 4th image, this is the 3rd. I actually took a lot more photos and I ended up numbering them all, you know, 1 to, I think it was 29. But I was like, okay, I've got too many images, just try and cut it down and get rid of the ones that I don't really need. So some of them aren't properly numbered. Well, they're numbered properly, but in this one we add the honey. Because we do want to feed our yeast. You don't always need to. There was some, like, This recipe originally was like, you don't need to, didn't include any yeast feeding materials, but changes the way it tastes and it grows, and I think I prefer it with the added bit of sugars and sweetness. So I've been trying to keep that in my recipe. Nope, that's not the right color. Okay. And then also I like using this one. I don't know why. Nope. The whole dream speak. Like that. Wait. Let's save again. This is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world. And she looks so sad in photographs. There we go. Now, the water. We need to make an edit to say, you know, making sure it's the right temperature. Because we don't want to kill the yeast and make it too hot. But we don't want it to be too cold, because if we use cold water, it ends up making the Did I not save my... Okay, here it is, Breadworks. I was really concerned. I was like, did I not save my edits? I didn't. I did, okay. Edits that I had for my last bread run recipe also includes the temperature for the water. Like I was saying, you don't want to cook your yeast and kill it. You just wanted to make it nice and warm and fuzzy and happy so it can wake up and feed. So getting a decent temperature range so that you don't make it too hot, I think is important. And it's easy to just say, oh, make it room temperature or make it lukewarm, but you don't always know what lukewarm is, especially when you first start to learn how to bake, or if you're not just used to it. Like I can test the water against my forearm and my wrist, and I can kind of get the idea of, okay, this is too hot, this is too cold, this should be just fine. Oh no. Wait, I need that picture. Rita, you silly thing. Oh, do I remember what the degree was? I don't. I don't. I should, but I don't. Aha! So my mic is a little bit in the way and makes it a little bit awkward to type those buttons. And of course, I do need to put both temperature ranges because you want to make sure everyone can do some good baking. Nope, edit that. Like so. And we can adjust where you sit. Like that. I'm not going to retype in the measurements. I didn't want to retype all the measurements for everything because, I mean, I got the measurements in the front image. And let me just take a quick look at them actually. Baking, pizza, edits. We've got the ingredients for pizza. Dry ingredients. Main ingredients and flavors. Toppings. Not as amusing or humorous as the first one, but I mean, just trying to get it straight to the point, giving a quick little guide on yeah, you see some of them I didn't get in landscape mode. There's a bug. There's a bug. No, just a little fox. Let's see, what do I type for this one? Make sure it's well incorporated. Mix everything. think I want to keep these images up so I can see them. I can get a good idea of what part I'm up to. Ingredients, toppings, dry, honey, water, mix, water, mix. No, no, isn't. Because I mean, you can use a spatula or something to mix it all together, but it's so much easier to just use your hand, because then you can use like a butter knife to scrape the dough off your hand, and then you don't have to worry about it. Then you just wash your hands and voila, well mixed dough. I'm probably just super cautious by doing it all like this with the whole save two ways idea, but I would rather have it like that, just in case I do mess up, or I look at it and like, that's not quite what I wanted to look like, how I wanted to come out. Because there was this one time when, like, I think it was a pizza one, where oh no, it was this is the pizza one. The last one I did with the on the bread recipe, I didn't realize it, and I put in the wrong measurement for yeast. And I posted it and I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. But I had to go back, open up the file, change the amount. It was so much easier because I had it already saved, and then just kind of resave everything, and it came out okay. Okay. You do really want to make sure you get all the corners when you do this, when you make bread, because it doesn't, luckily with this recipe, since it's has such a high hydration, it will eventually like absorb all of the dry spots. But there's a chance that, you know, it may not absorb it by the time you use it, and then you'll have these like little dry scab-like patches in your dough, and it can be difficult to work with. So it's easiest to just make sure you get as much as you can, which is why I like using my hand, because then you can just like reach in and get all the corners. Did I forget 6? I did forget 6. I can't count. This one. Okay. And it's like, oh my god, there are so many of these. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 22? 22 images in this little series. We are like maybe a third of the way through. And what I do like, you know, living in a warm area, because that makes proofing fun, because I get to put it outside and it gets to just proof in the warm heat of being outside. Something I couldn't really do where I lived before, because it was, you know, too cold. Now to lightly cover and set somewhere warm to proof. Usually takes an hour or when doubled in size, because sometimes it takes less than an hour. Sometimes it takes more than an hour. It's one of those, it depends on, you know, temperature. If I'm not mistaken, it also depends on like altitude, depending on if you're higher up or not. I'm pretty close to sea level, so I don't have to worry about that so much. Like if you use cold water, it would take far, far longer. Would it rise? Yeah, totally. Cold water doesn't really kill yeast, as far as I'm aware. It just makes it incredibly slow, which is why you could like also do this and then stick it in the fridge and leave it overnight and it'll proof. And by the time you use it, well, I usually set it to do first proof and then I'll stick it in the fridge. Like today, I'm gonna make a batch of bread for the bagels, and I'm gonna give it the proof time so that it can rise and double, and then I'll put it in the fridge. That way it can keep till tomorrow or this weekend. You don't want to make it, you know, airtight, because it does need air and oxygen to grow, which is why I'm like lightly cover it. Make sure it still has some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, not as a JPEG. No, not as a JPEG. I did it again. I mean, I could have done this on my own, this part, but I don't know. I want to document it all. I mean, granted, I could have just, you know, done this all as a video and then edit it. Well, not edit it, but uploaded it as like a little video series, which I might do the next time. But it's also, you know, I'm really learning how to do any of this. So it's like documenting everything that I learn, all the processes that I do. Like, okay, maybe next time I'll do this part off stream, and then for the next one I'll just focus on actually doing the editing, or rather the video creation. I got it right in the first try. Because this is all just a learning process for me at the moment. Oops. No, let's make it like that. This is about after 30 minutes, because like I was saying, oh no. Sometimes it takes longer. Like if it wasn't as warm outside, I wouldn't have been able to it would have been a different story. Because if it was cold or rainy, I wouldn't have been able to put it outside. I would have had it inside. And it might have taken a little bit longer, because on inside the house we have the AC on. And it's usually, you know, a lot colder inside than it is outside. Like outside it's in like 90-ish degrees or so, which is pretty hot comparative to, you know, inside. It's AC's usually sitting at like 70-ish, and 20 degrees makes a big difference. For how long it'll take to proof. Because that was after, see, that was after 30 minutes or so. And then this is after about an hour, you know? That's when you go, hold on. Let's open up the first one. This is where it started. And this is after about an hour. So it definitely rose a little more than double. which is why, you know, you got to keep an eye on it. You don't want it to overproof, because if it overproofs, it does change the flavor. It's not, it doesn't always come out like super bad if you overproof it, but it might get like a bit of an alcohol-y flavor smell. There's something to keep an eye out. Aha! It's like, I think the next time I make bread, well, I do think making just a half batch for pizza is a good idea, because then that gives me two full-size 16-inch pizzas, which is pretty good. You can always make a full batch of pizza, but of the dough, if you need more. But this is enough for 2 1-pound portions. That'll make you 2 16-ounce, you know, pizza doughs or pizzas. Like, I think I have it as part of the measurements that we're gonna get up. Yeah, it's the next one. Like, when I first started making the pizza, I didn't really measure how much dough I was using. So I think at one point I used 2 pounds of dough for one pizza, and it was so thick. The crust was so thick, but it was really tasty. It came out like kind of like a deep dish pizza, because the dough was thick but like flavorful and crunchy, and it came out really good, honestly. But I do want to try and pick up like maybe a different pan to try and make like a deep dish pizza with, because I can just use the same type of dough, and it'll just be using more dough than a standard pizza, because it'll give it more of a it'll give it more bread, and it would come out really good, I think, if I were to use this and make an actual proper deep dish pizza. So that's definitely something I want to try and work on. I just need to find and obtain a proper pan for it, because that would actually be very useful for it, because I only have the standard cooking pans or sheet trays. I don't have anything really. When I moved from my last place to where I am now, I got rid of like 99% of my baking utensils, so I don't have any of my pots and pans anymore, which hurt, but it wasn't really feasible to travel and move with all of it, so it is what it is. But I definitely had pans I could have used for deep dish pizza, so it's something that I need to build back up with, you know? How can I word this? Each 16-inch pizza will take 1 pound of dough. This recipe makes 2 pizzas. Or you can just save it. Yeah. Make one now, have another one later. Which is why I really like this recipe. No. Let's make sure I'm on the right page. The right layer. Oh, we just hit an ad break. I didn't even realize it. Alright, let's pause. Okay, all I really did was merge and save this one because this is all it really was. Each pizza will take 1 pound of dough. I didn't measure how much it is in ounces. I mean, grams, but if you've got a measuring unit or a scale, it should be able to do both. Hopefully. So, but you can easily just divide it into two and make two pizzas. The next part is to give it a quick little oil bath, because this gives the crust a nice crunch. What am I looking for? A nebula. I also gotta try and make a few more little chibis. So I have a bit more variety. Variety? Variety. 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 I forget. I forget a lot of things. I need what I would like to do is find my. Never mind, I found it. I was gonna say I want to find my whiteboard and have a list of things that I want to keep done. But I found it. But I also need to find where I put my easel, because then I can have it propped up nicely. Okay, so how do we say this part? How do we say this part? Oh, go in 1 tablespoon of olive oil. I mean, I guess I could add this measurement to the beginning where my measurements for all my ingredients are. That way no one's like, oh, I didn't know you needed olive oil. Oh, even though there was a pic. I think olive oil was in the picture in the beginning. Oh, it's like there was olive oil there in the back. Well, not really. You can't see. It says it. So that's something to change. Okay. Let's open up the ingredients one. And then we'll do... We'll do it on this one. Add on a tablespoon of olive oil. And then we save. We merge. And then we save as a pig. Yes. Overwrite. There we go. Oh, wait. Undo that. We want this on a separate vector layer. That way it moves separately from the wording. And a lot of the original batches didn't include the oil bath, and it came out just fine, so you don't absolutely need to do this part. But I was looking at other way some places make their pizza, and they do add an oil rub. Mainly, you know, I think a lot of like New York style pizza places do like an oil rub bath kind of deal. And being from New York, I wanted to, you know, make it as close as possible. So I definitely was like, I need to incorporate this into my pizza, and the way I make my pizza. You know what? You can actually stay right up there. The second proof, this one took about 30 to 40 minutes if I'm not mistaken. Adjust spacing for the letters and the words. And not all pizzas will be like, oh, after you do this, you need to let it rise again. But once it's done like this, you can just use it. I do think letting it rise again helps. Especially since we added the oil. We do want to let the oil saturate into the dough. Okay. Ooh, we're halfway there. And then we get to actually open up Capcut. Which I'm realizing now I didn't set up for OBS. But no, we're not doing a new image. And then you see? Second proof. Add a little bit more. Got the oil a bit more incorporated into it. Oh no! Although doing this makes me want to make pizza. But I've already got enough baking that I have planned. Well, I mean, I could make a small batch of pizza for today. Do I have ingredients for it? I mean, technically I got ingredients for it. I really want to try and make deep dish pizza though. But I don't think I have any pans for it. I really don't. I mean, I have a small little tin, but I mean, I could make that. Could. I've got a small little cake pan. This one doesn't need to be anything fancy. Just say, you know, oh no. Just kind of saying, hey, this is what it looks like after the second proof. You can see how much it has risen. And that it indeed got a bit of the oil incorporated into it. Mmm, pizza. Pizza is probably one of my favorite foods to eat. It's also one of my favorite things to make, because I was able to find such a great recipe to make it so quickly and easily. Okay. And now for the icky sticky part. I don't think I used much flour when I did this. I used mainly olive oil. So it was a little more difficult to work with and to make sure I didn't stick to anything. So it was like, okay, make sure you roll it and roll it and turn it and lift it. Because I didn't want to use flour and potentially dry it out any more than it was. Because olive oil was meant to give it some some moisture and some good crunchy bits to it. Well, you know what? I think I will say, just in case. You can use light flour use if needed, because you know, sometimes it is helpful to use flour. And it is also like this recipe doesn't use any real type of dairy product in it, so it holds pretty well, and it doesn't what's the word, spoil as quickly. However, I do want to try mixing in some milk into it to see if it'll produce a light fluffy bread, or even if I don't use milk, use like the dehydrated milk powder, because it's a bit more shelf stable. And to see if that'll change the texture, and if it'll give it a bit more lighter and fluffier texture to it. So there's like a lot of things that I want to adjust and mess with in regards to this particular recipe. No, that's not the one I wanted to do. Because a big part for me, a big part of baking is also you know, recipe adjustments, um, recipe modifications, versatility. Like if I can have one basic recipe that I can, you know, adjust, manipulate to fit various needs, it's nice because I can be like, oh, this is my base recipe and I know it from the back of my hand. It's pure memory. But if I want to do something a little bit different, I know how. Like I saw someone post on Reddit, like they made their own like Subway sandwich roll and it looks so good. Like the fluff in that bread was so nice. But it was a very different type of salad bread than, you know, I make. I think a big part of that was because it had milk in it. I didn't really watch the recipe too much. I was too fascinated with like the bread. So that's something I want to try and work with. I typically don't drink or buy a whole lot of milk, so it's like I have to think about it beforehand and intentionally buy milk just for the baking. Or like there's like salt bread, which is also really tasty, but it's very light and fluffy, which is a little bit different than what the bread that I make, which is a little more denser and heavier, you know? Or like as I'm sitting here drinking coffee, like what if I can make like a coffee flavored bread? What would that taste like? What would that taste like? Have coffee with your bread that tastes like coffee? I don't know, I think it would just taste bitter. Unless I did like a coffee simple syrup. And that brings up a whole other train of thought. Like, I've been thinking about, okay, how can I adjust this recipe so that instead of being used for savory things, can I adjust the recipe and the flavorings that I use to be a bit more on the sweet side? Because like as I was going through my ingredients for my like my seasonings, I saw that I had a big old thing of cinnamon, and I was like, can I make like a cinnamon sugar type bread with this? And I'm like, okay, yeah, you can just make cinnamon rolls. But I'm like, no, I want to make cinnamon sweet bread, like some sort of like cinnamon sugar pull apart bread, you know, where it's a bit more hearty because it's bread based than just cinnamon rolls, because cinnamon rolls are generally a bit more lighter and fluffier. And then like you put like walnuts in it to give it a bit of a crunch. But then that would probably mean either reducing the salt in the bread recipe entirely or reducing it a large amount. Could I substitute some of the water for milk to give it a bit more, to change how that comes out? I'm gonna need to buy a bit of milk so I can test all this theory out. And I don't really drink milk anymore. But these are questions that I have about this one singular recipe. And it's like, okay, yeah, you can just go out and find a recipe for that, and you can go find a recipe for that, you can go find a recipe for that, but I don't want to find other recipes. I just want to have this one recipe. I forgot what I even was up to. What was the last thing we did? The Oreo roll? Okay. Carefully roll out to the size of your pan. Be mindful of tears. just squeeze them back. And carefully lift and place on I don't want to, because I don't want to say roll out the size of your pan twice. It seems a little redundant. Carefully roll out to the size, to the desired size. Be mindful of tears and squeeze them back. And carefully lift and place on your pizza pan. No need to, well, depends on what you're using. I didn't, no, yeah, I did lightly dust the pan. I should make that noted. Lightly dust. Lightly dust and with flour, not too much. You don't want to put too much, just a little bit. Let's lift you up a little bit. And then we'll lift you up a little bit. Like that. Like, I've also thought, like, what would be fun? It would be fun if I had like a little camera set up in my kitchen. That way I can actually record like a full video of, where am I at? Sauced. So I can have like a little, like, I can actually make the video of the process, however long that'll be, and then I can just speed it up, do quick edits. Because that would be an entire other learning process. Well, it would be a learning process. But it would be kind of fun. Just a little splat of... That one, I don't like that one. That one's too serious. That one's a little bit more amusing. Time to add on the sauce. And there's definitely different types of like tomato-based sauces, because you can also add like the white pizza sauce. You can potentially do an Alfredo sauce, although most Alfredo sauces are really thin and they're on the watery side, so I wouldn't. But if you were to make like a bit of a thicker Alfredo sauce, you probably could, in theory. I haven't tested that out yet, but you might be able to pull it off. I have to add on the sauce. Easier to add more and to remove. Yeah, and I think when you add like stuff like this, it's easier to start with a small amount and then add more. Ah, get it right. Because if you add too much sauce, then you're just gonna have this big old sopping mess. And it's can be difficult to it could end up being difficult to take that sauce off. Also, you can see like I did get a little bit of a edge or a bit of a crust around the edge, you know, so this is a little bit thinner. I really want to make pizza now. I can totally make pizza today. It doesn't take too long. And then once I'm done with the pizza, I can just make the dough or bagels, or I can even just make the bagels tomorrow. I really want pizza. I might end up making pizza. And if I do make pizza, I'm probably just gonna end up making taking pictures, because this time around I'm going to be using the pizza stone, and I am quite certain the end result will be a little bit more crunchier than this last one. See? You want to make sure you leave a little bit of an edge for your no, don't shimmy it too hard. Just looking to shrink him a little bit. I mean, you don't have to leave any space at the edge for your crust. I personally actually do like crust. Especially when it's, you know, tasty crust. And since we went through all the trouble of adding aromatics and flavor to our dough, it actually tastes really good. You just have a little bit of crust. Plus, the crust doesn't get like soggy and doesn't, well, not soggy, but it stays a bit on the firmer side. So it lets you like get that good handle spot for when you snack on it. I mean, I can always just, well, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a half batch pizza, right? Of the pizza dough, right? And then I'm gonna use half the recipe to make like a regular standard pizza, just like this one. And then the other one I'm going to use, and I'm going to put it in the, I have this like I think it's like an 8-inch square cake tin. And I'm gonna try and make like a deep dish pizza with it. That sounds so good. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Yes, that is exactly what I'm gonna do. Oh, I'm so excited. I'll make the bagel dough tomorrow. I'm making pizza today. Fuck yeah. I am 100% sold on making pizza today. Without a doubt. Pizza, 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 pizza. I'm excited. I wasn't planning on making pizza today. I made pasta yesterday with some ground pork, and that's a little too pink. It came out really good, and I was quite happy. With how it came out. You know, just a simple food. There's nothing too grand or big. Now that I'm looking at pizza and I'm thinking about, you know, pizza, it's all I can think about. And now I'm just like, ooh, pizza. Pizza sounds so good. Pizza sounds amazing. And I didn't even think about using that pizza tin to make deep dish pizza, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, pound of dough would fit fairly nicely in that. I wouldn't have to let it rise for too much. You know, I would just add more sauce and some cheese to it, and then I would just cook it off inside the pan. And it would come out fantastic. I think it would come out fantastic. Yep. Definitely doing this. Time to top your pizza. I'm so excited. Like, I wasn't planning on doing any baking today because I haven't been taking as much Tylenol and ibuprofen lately, which I normally do before I bake because baking tends to be kind of painful for me because of my neck and everything. But I think I'm just going to suffer through it because I really want to try and make some deep dish pizza. And I really want to try and make pizza on the pizza stone. Like, don't get me wrong, using this was great and the pizza came out fantastic. But I've got a stone now, and it does slightly change the way things end up baking off. No. I'm not saving it as a JPEG. So it will be interesting to see how it comes out. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. You know? I wanna make pizza. Pizza. But yeah, so like the few times that I've added like bacon, I haven't really added veggies because I don't really do veggies on my pizza very often. Although, maybe I'll add some peppers and red onions to half of one. Maybe I'll tell my roommate to pick up some pepperoni and bacon. That sounds like a great idea. Hold on, let me do that. Yeah, pizza. So, did we get the spread? No, we didn't. Okay. Yeah. See, this is already, I think, looking better than a pizza that you would buy from, one of the frozen pizzas. And it takes like, well, it took a few hours because, you gotta let everything rest and then rise and then you gotta roll it all out. But it's gonna taste so much better. And it's so quick and easy. Like, literally, it doesn't take much time at all. Well, I mean, figuratively speaking, if you have a couple of hours, it'll take no time at all. I mean, I say that, and then I say that next part, and it's like, oh, that takes forever. I think it's worth it. And I feel like it's one of those, if you try it, you might agree that it's worth the effort. It's like, you can also make like a garlic butter, and then halfway through your baking, like on a round pizza, halfway through your baking, with like a garlic parmesan butter, and then you can spread it around the crust and give it a nice rich buttery garlic parmesan flavor as well. Oh my god. I'm like salivating. I get excited when I talk about baking. Baking has always been a thing that I do when it makes me feel better. So baking and being in pain sucks, but at the same time, it comforts me. So it's like, okay, I'll go and I'll spend a few hours baking, and I'll be really happy with the end result, and it'll be amazing, and I'll be happy, and then I'll just lay down and crash because it's just, my neck feels like it's exploding. Ooh. I don't remember what temperature I baked it at though. I think I just did 450. With this one because it was the pizza pan. Because like the pizza stone needs to go up all the way to 500 degrees. But that also changes the way it's going to come out in taste and flavor. Okay, I forgot what 450 degrees is. Nope. Where did I put Breadworks? I think that was in baking. My art. Breadworks. Not that one. Not that one. Red one. 230 degrees Celsius. Fifteen to 20 minutes. Say 15 to 25. No, 15 was not going to be 20 to 25. Right? I put it in for 10. And then I put it in. And then I check it, spin it, check it for 7. And then depending on how it looks. Let's say 17 then. Yeah, this was about halfway through. Look at that. Yum. Yum, 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 yum. see. How do I? How was it? It's like it's still. I mean, not everyone knows how to do that. One's fully baked. Transform. Yeah, all this talking about pizza is making my stomach go pizza, pizza, pizza. Oops. I think we're almost done with this, and then we can start tossing it into the Capcut. Ah, look at that slice. So like the crust is a little bit on the lighter side, but it's still really tasty and really flavorful. That's not the right color. That's the right color. Huzzah for fresh pizza! Good job. So I am very curious to see what it'll look like. Like that's pretty good looking pizza. Nice thin crust, flavorful crust as well. I think that's a part not many people really look for. Like, not many people make a flavorful crust. They just go, oh, it's just crust. All this stuff is gonna go on top of it. No. Give your pizza crust some life, and this will be my intro title page, I think. Because I didn't make one last time. It just jumped straight into the ingredients. So what am I gonna put as... Ever wanted freshly made pizza? And voila. I can like smell. I can smell it. I can smell the pizza. I can smell it. I can smell it. Okay. That's... I think that is everything as far as the pizza. So let me just open it up real fast. Let's see. Ingredients for pizza. Yada 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 yada. Toppings, tomato, basil, pasta. Ingredients. We use for some honey, water, mixing. Yeah, that should work. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Let's open up Capcut. Because I don't... And add it into my streaming, because I forgot to do that. I should be able to. Okay, I also think that it would be nice if this lo-fi city free? No. Okay, there we go. There we go. Capcut, did you want to start or not? Oh, you did start. My bad. My bad. My bad. You just opened up in the wrong window. Create project. Okay, so we've got that going. And then OBS. Does this count as... Did? Well now. Ooh, details. Definitely want to get that covered up. So, we're going to add to our BRB screen because we do have an ad coming us shortly. And we will be back after that. That's not right. That's not right. What's that in there? And then I do want to put in this. Can I rotate? Can I rotate? No, you know what? I think I don't need to rotate. No, wait. No, wait. No, wait. Just put her over here. Yeah. Yeah, should be fine. Okay, so now for this next part, which I don't really know how to do, honestly. This is also very, very new to me. I've done it like once or twice, but it's like, I don't know. It's all buttons. So it's, I've done it very, 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 very simple. It's like, okay, dreamy? What do we have for dreamy? I don't want anything. I'm okay with this. We also gotta make sure we use only the make sure we use the, I guess, the free versions, because I don't have the Capcut Pro. No. Like transitions. I do like using the black fade because it doesn't take much space. It's like, that, you know? Oh, it's really loud. Is there any way to make this lower? Wonder what audio channel coming through. Maybe that should lower it a little bit. Black fade. Mix? Mix is okay. Okay, no, that's a little too short then. Was it blur that I used? No, it wasn't. Hold on. I think it was mix. My darling dog sneaks into I keep it go for now, as I better learn and understand. I try to keep with just black fade and mix. Although I don't know if I'll keep it as just 1 and 1. I think I also, the last one I did had like 3 and then 3 and then 3 and then 3. So let's see. Oops, I accidentally X'd out banana meter. Xing out a banana meter kind of shuts down all my sound systems. So this is okay. We can trim that down to the end. Is there a way to make this a little bit lower? Normalize loudness, no. I guess not quite. Oh, volume. What on earth is being shown? Oh, every time I hit play, it swaps to just showing the player. That's interesting. I really hope I'm not like doxing myself when I do this. No, it seems to be fine. Okay, so that's that. And then we do have like the effects that are fun little things, I think, right? No, right? Oh, it's under audio, I think. It's not music, it's sound effects. I was like, okay. Wow. Wow. This is one of my favorite ones, but it's more of a, where do I want to put this? No, not there. Here. And then... Nope! That's not the button I wanted. Oh, it's almost dangerous. me see. Are my details showing? No, no, they're not. Good. Oh. Just making sure that I didn't accidentally use one of the aid ones. Of these. Perfect. Oh, that's a really, really small one. Yeah! No. They're one for honey. That is definitely not the honey I was thinking of. Icky. No. I like this one being here though. Yes. That works. That works. That works, that works. Okay, let's see what we got. No. This one, I might just gotta shrink it. Ooh, no, 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 no. Let me see. Okay, let's see what full screen. Here we go. Okay. Okay. What do we get for just drop? Hmm. These aren't quite the drop sounds I want. Hmm. Let me see plop. Plop? Plop? These are not so bad. That one. That one. Hmm. 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 That one can go there, actually. Hmm. 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 No, I don't want to use the same sound twice. There we go, that's a nice one. Okay. They're all just silly little sounds. But I hope they make it a little more cute and amusing. That's all I really want. No, I have that one. I don't want to use the same sounds. That's terrifying. Okay, we're almost done. We need 2 more and then we'll see what it looks like. And then we'll see what it looks like. I need something for spread cheese and half-baked. Let's see. Perfect. Not so bad, actually. Okay. Let's see what this silly little video looks like. Was amazing. I 10 out of 10, no comment. Are they all 3 seconds? They should all be 3 seconds. So we've got what, 24 times 3? Yeah, a minute 12. That surprisingly works out perfectly. Well, not perfectly, but it's amusing and it's cute. And it's good enough to make me smile. And it gets my point across. Well, my idea across. So we're gonna go ahead and export that. Pizza works. Okay, and then we're just gonna export that. And then that's it. Apparently there's a 916. No, that doesn't quite work out so well. Okay, well that was it. That was it, really. that was I was making a quick little video. Is it good? I don't know, you tell me. It was amusing. The sound effects are fun. I do like the effects. There are different effects that I know that I haven't done. There are stickers, you know, filters. I haven't messed with any of these yet. So there's a lot of things that I haven't messed with, but for now, this is technically what? Maybe my third video that I've made? And it works. It works. It's perfectly fine and I enjoy it. But yeah, that's really all I had for today. Tune in next time. Or what are we gonna make next time? Bagels. My next project that I'm gonna do on this is gonna be bagels. Because today I'm making pizza because I want pizza. I'll take pictures and I'll, you know, have that bookmarked for later so I can mess with that. You know, showing the difference between working on a pizza stone and working on a pan and working on a deep dish pizza. And the recipe will more or less stay the same. I don't really have any plans on changing that. But and then I'll do this today. I'll make pizza today, and then tomorrow will be ESO. Tomorrow's ESO day. Tomorrow's werewolf day. Elder Scrolls got an update and they reworked the werewolf stuff. I've never played a werewolf in any of my Elder Scrolls games at all. It's always been vampire. Never done werewolf. So that will be a lot of fun and very cool. I heard it's really cool. The visuals are awesome. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure how long it'll take, but it'll be werewolf, and then we're going to be jumping into the Morrowind quest line. Because that's the next expansion chapter that we're going to be working on. And then I'll take pictures of bagels I make this weekend, and then next week we'll figure it out next week. Yeah, that'll be it for today. Quick little weird video that I found rather amusing that I'll post in a bit. I'll upload it to YouTube, because I don't think you can upload things like this to Twitch. Which is fine. I'll just upload it to... I'll upload it to YouTube. Although I wonder, hold on, let me see something. Maybe if I turn that off, and then I'll be quiet, and then I'll go like this, and we'll just turn this into like a... No, that's not gonna work out so well. It's gonna look kind of really funky. We'll just do it as an upload. It's fine. But yeah, that'll be it for me. Until tomorrow. Have a good evening, a good morning, a good afternoon. Eat some tasty things. Have some... Drink water. Drink water. I don't drink enough water, so I'm gonna tell you to drink water. Drink water. Eat some tasty things and just have a good day. And have a good one. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.